Terminator Genisys just came out in the movie theaters, and I wanted to see this film. I saw the previews. I thought it looked pretty good. It like really gave me a nostalgia feeling for the original Terminator films. And what I'm hearing a lot of people saying is the movie is a mess. It's just a mess, and some people like it, some people hate it, and it just kind of got me feeling like, oh man, it's not gonna be on par with Terminator 1 or 2. Not that anyone was really expecting it to be, but it seems like a disappointment as far as the reviews of it have gone so far. Now, I haven't seen it yet, so I'm not gonna say it's good or bad, but it got me to thinking of things, and number one, that I haven't made a top 5 video here for you guys in a long ass time, but it got me to thinking of movies that disappointed me. And there's been a lot of movies that have disappointed me. And if I could narrow them down to a top 5, what would those 5 be? So I did just that and put them on a list here for you, and I'm going to go ahead and go over them here with you. You could feel free to share movies you feel that have disappointed you. Either you bought into the hype and then you went to see it and you were like, wow, that sucked. Or it was a movie that like, oh, I can't wait till they make a sequel to this, and then you finally see the sequel and you're like, wow, it sucked. Or that, you like the actors or something and it's like, wow, I can't believe they did such a terrible job in this film. It sucked. Anyway, this is my list, and it may not match yours. It's going to piss off probably a few of you out there. But I'm going to try and explain myself as best as I can as to why I picked these 5 films. The first 2 films on my list, I want to say, are the only sequels on here. I could give 100 honorary mentions to sequels, but these 2 are on this list for a reason that the originals are films that I regard as some of my all-time favorite films. Anyways, number 5, Kill Bill 2. Now, Kill Bill 2 is not a terrible movie. It's not a movie that I considered, to be a film that sucks in any way, shape, or form. But it's when I saw Kill Bill 1. Kill Bill 1 was not only one of my favorite films, but it was one of the most surprising films. Because I remember seeing a preview for Kill Bill, and I went, what the hell was that shit? What did I just see? I don't know. I can't comprehend this. It looked ridiculous. It looked absolutely ridiculous. And then I saw that film and I was like, holy shit. This was an entertaining, just absolute ass kick fest. It was awesome. And it's, like I've said before, it's one of 2 times in the history of Hollywood that a strong female lead was in as a main star of an action film. That's one of 2 times. The only other time that's happened is Sigourney Weaver in the Alien franchise. Anyways, I know a lot of people disagree. Like, well, Angelina Jolie was good in Tomb Raider. Go away. Go away. Anyway, Kill Bill 2. It just goes to show you, and what we found out later, that this was designed to be just one film, and that was clearly evident that Kill Bill 1 and 2 were designed to be one film, because Part 2, it just tried to stretch the plot out as much as possible, try to add so much filler material. The conflict between the 2 remaining agents that Uma Thurman had to go after just wasn't as interesting as the first 2 she went after in Part 1. And in Part 1, you get the first agent knocked out in the first 5 minutes of the film, but it set the pace. It set the pace for when she went after Lucy Liu and the Crazy 88 in Part 1. But anyways, Kill Bill 2, just utterly disappointing, but still a good film. Number 4, Toy Story 3. Just kidding, Part 2. Toy Story 2. I saw Part 1, and I thought that was one of the greatest animated films of all time. And it is unarguably one of the greatest animated films of all time. It's a film that really put Pixar on the map, and just a masterpiece. Just an absolute masterpiece that you can enjoy as a child or adult. So many things that bring back nostalgia to my childhood and many other people's childhoods. And then part 2 came out. I watched it and I was like, I could go the rest of my life without ever seeing this film again, because the charm that was in part 1, it just isn't there. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if it's too formulaically similar to part 1. But with that being said, Toy Story 3 is every bit as good, if not better, than part 1. Like, I felt genuine emotion watching part 3 and part 1. Part 2, it was just silly, goofy continuation of part 1. It didn't feel like anything new. It didn't feel like anything expanded. It just felt like 1.1. Toy Story 1.1, and it should have been like a made-for-TV or direct-to-Walmart shelves type movie more than a full theatrical release. But part 3, like I said, just to show you that sequels don't always fall short of standing up to the original, part 3, like I said, was every bit as good as part 1, if not better. And it's honestly a coin flip as to whether or not it's better. I am more leaning towards the side that it's actually a better film than part 1. But it has the advantage of completing the story and ending it on such a magnificent note. Not to ruin the movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Anyways, number 3. Avatar. Oh, Avatar. I heard so much about this movie for years. And I love me some James Cameron. Love me some James Cameron. Terminator 1, Terminator 2 are 2 of my favorite films of all time. I love The Abyss. I even think Titanic gets a bad rap. I really do. Do I think it's one of the best films ever made? No, not really. But that is still an extraordinary film. Absolutely magnificent film. When I heard about this, and I heard about all the resources that James Cameron was putting into Avatar and the time that he was taking to make this, years on end, and how it was going to be this big, breathtaking spectacle of a movie, just visually stunning. It's going to, revolutionize 3D movies, and it started the 3D boom in theaters. And then I finally saw it. I had that same feeling I had after Toy Story 2. I said I could go the rest of my life without seeing this film again, and I don't think I would miss anything. And for the amount of money that it made and just everything that went together, it just was not that good. It just was not that good. Very generic plot, and I know a lot of people are saying like, oh, it just stole from the storyline of Pocahontas and all that, which is all well and true, but movies steal or just borrow ideas or have similar ideas to other movies, other stories, other works of fiction and nonfiction, etc. But this movie, there's nothing memorable from it. Like, there's literally nothing that I took out of that movie to say like, wow, that was a great scene that's going to stand the test of time in cinema. That dialogue was captivating. That's going to be like, say, a thing where you're at work and you're like, blah, 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 and then the next guy goes, blah, 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 and then this guy, blah, blah, blah. Like when someone brings up the Shawshank Redemption and quotes the movie, someone else quotes another part of the movie, someone else quotes another part of the movie. With this, everyone and their mother saw it. Do you hear people quoting Avatar, talking about Avatar? Be like, oh, look, this reminds me of that scene in Avatar. Like, when's the last time you heard that? Never? That's what I thought. Anyways, for as much hype as this got, for as many people that went to see it, for the amount of money that it made, for just the number of people that gave this such good word of mouth, I wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed damn near at all. Number 2. I love me some Quentin Tarantino. In fact, Quentin Tarantino, I think, per capita, has the best collection of directed films, ranked against any director. Except one. Well, except one film that he made, not one director. That one film came off the heels of arguably his most critically acclaimed and most fan-appreciated films, and that is the movie Jackie Brown. Jackie Brown. When I heard about this film, especially coming after Reservoir Dogs and right after Pulp Fiction, and oh my God, Sam Jackson is back in this, and one of my personal top 3 favorite actors of all time, De Niro. De Niro and Tarantino in the same film. Take my money. Take my money. Here's more money. You didn't ask for this? Take it too. I saw this film and I'm like, Pam Grier in the lead role? And I'm like, okay, she's an alright actress and all, but this movie, it wasn't good. It's not that this was disappointing. I didn't like the movie. It's like Avatar and whatnot. It's like, yeah, okay, it's a likable movie. Toy Story 2, yeah, okay, it's a likable movie. They're disappointing. But this one is the first movie on the list that I just flat out did not like. I don't know how you get Tarantino and De Niro in the same movie, and De Niro's character in Jackie Brown is borderline unwatchable. Just the stoner criminal who can't have a line of cohesive dialogue in the entire film. I mean, it would have been acceptable if they if they casted someone like Keanu Reeves or something like that. I'm like, okay, great. Anyway, but this movie, it just was not good. Just wasn't good. I don't know if Tarantino felt like he had to prove that he could direct a strong black female lead in a movie. Like, 'cause I don't know why you would come off the heels of something like Pulp Fiction and pick someone like Pam Grier, who frankly hasn't really been relevant in Hollywood in such a long time, and throw her in as your female lead in this movie. And it just sank. It just sank. And I loved everything Tarantino has done. This is the one exception. Did not like this movie. Number 1. Look, I like the Batman movies, the Christian Bale Batman movies. But let's face it, when Heath Ledger died, you got unexpected hype for a movie that just flat out sucked. The Dark Knight, I'm just kidding, it's not The Dark Knight. Number 1. Scarface. Now this is a movie that I saw many years after it came out. I forget exactly how old I was when I finally saw it, but it was many years after it had come out. And this was after seeing stuff like The Godfather that Al Pacino was in, and seeing what a masterpiece of a film that is, and seeing Goodfellas, and seeing the mob type films like that are brutal, that are violent. Got Goodfellas more so than The Godfather, obviously. So my palate was wet for, the big, mob type film, even though this wasn't so much of a mob film. Cuban immigrants come over and start a drug cartel in Miami, and I saw this movie and I heard all the hype, and I heard the acclaim it gets and the amount of people quoting it, and it doesn't suffer from the problem that Avatar has, because people quote Scarface all the time. But when I saw this film, I was just like, I like violence, I like vulgarity, but this was quite possibly the most absurdly, gratuitously, forced, violently, angry, whatever movie you want to label it as. The amount of vulgarity and violence in this film was so much that it just got cartoonish. Like, I can't even buy this character. And by the end, Tony Montana is sticking his face in a literal cartoon pile of coke in the end of the film, and he's going out and he's getting shot and he can't die. And I'm like, what the hell is going on in this film? What just happened? Great. I know he's coked up and all, but that doesn't stop you from being able to function as a human being when bullets pierce vital organs in your body. Jesus Christ. That ending was so ridiculous. I'm sorry if I ruined the end of the movie for you guys, but if you haven't seen it by now, Jesus Christ, what are you waiting for? The reliance on the word, excuse me, I'm going to break my New Year's resolution here. The reliance on the word fuck in this film. And if you haven't seen the video on YouTube where they just put every single time the word fuck was uttered in this film, I think the video was like 65 minutes long. 65 minutes long, and the actual length of the movie was 72 minutes. Like that's how much the word fuck is used in this film. All right, maybe I'm exaggerating that a little bit. It's like 64 minutes. But anyway, man, this movie, I just felt numb. I finished watching the movie, I was just like, what did I see? What did I just see? Holy shit. Anyways, and you know, I don't mean to sound like I'm just knocking a movie because it was violent or absurd or anything like that, because there's plenty of movies that have violence and absurdity to them and they're still very good films. But this one, holy shit, it takes the cake to the point that it is just disappointing. And it gets to a level where it's like, you know, there's violence, there's ultra violence and something like Clockwork Orange, and then there's the Scarface up here. It shot out and hit the next closest planet. Anyway, that's my top 5 list of disappointing films. Maybe not necessarily ranked in exact orders how I feel, but that's pretty close. Anyways, what are some films that you really wanted to see that you felt were just utterly disappointing, or do you think I'm absurd to list some of the ones that I did on this list? Anyways, have a good day. Don't blow yourself up. And happy birthday, America. I think you're 237 years old now, if I did the math correct. 76 and 39, 239. I suck at math. Have a good day, everyone.